I'm contemplating, waiting, looking for more evidence first. The argument must be airtight. P's and Q's immaculate, I's dotted, T's crossed. Not the case, I feel at a loss. Hesitate. Pause. Turn away. Once the case can be made, facts and stats verifiable, feels like then and only then the argument's truly viable. Approach the topic like a general or a lawyer, politician, tax collector. All ducks in a row? No. Maybe later then. Not yet. Hesitate. Because to bring up issues of social justice, it feels like sometimes one must come correct, sufficiently covering psychology, sociology, economics, the present, history, and hagiology. How does the violated align with the saints? If the paperwork is not correct, don't bother. You may lose the argument, because that's what it's about, right? T's must be crossed. Is debate worth the cost? Hesitate. Pause. How can tragedy and apathy sit so sympathetically within me that I can choose silence if those T's aren't crossed? What does it profit a man to gain just enough of a little corner of the world that he can witness the cry of the poor in spirit and keep lips zipped as if he did not hear it, see it, those tears and anguish of labor and labor-like pain gnawing those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, see it and yet remain silent, still, because the T's aren't crossed. He freezes, counting cost as if at a loss, lost. Oh, I was at a loss, lost, or so I thought, disabled by doubt, so I thought, until I remembered the most important parts. How we forget the most important parts. That I have an advocate in my King that crossed my transgressions with his love and blood, that declared me loved no matter my record. He crossed my tears with his fingers, and my doubt with his hope, and my fear with his faith, my loneliness with his home. So my primary unction and my first love will not belong to some side of this world's culture war, but to the one who reminds me what I am here for, and invites me to join those in spirit poor, hungering and thirsting for righteousness more. And in doing so weeping, and weeping with those who weep, and weeping for those who weep, and weeping for those who cause those who weep to weep, no matter what any of their records are, no matter what the full video shows, because the full video is far from the full story. The case that is made never accounts for Christ, my Savior's blood, sweat, and tears during those 33 years of crossover, and his interceding now, so it is incomplete. But my judgment cannot be inconclusive, because the love I have received is not exclusively for the faultless. There is none righteous, no, not one. But God so loved the world that while we were yet sinners, he gave his Son for all, not just for some. And Jesus' prayer was that with him we'd be one. And in him there is freedom to be moved by compassion over pain, period. Are we willing to undo our camps? I owe that one to the fam. And not get boxed in by respectability politics, and to remind others that we were worth the dying for while unworthy, so maybe love, unconditional and unearned, is worth the living for and the speaking for, because our freedom unearned by us was worth his living for and dying for. And all the facts of a case I may not know for sure, but with this in my core, doubts I can endure and just speak. Sometimes silence is violence. And this is not an abdication from the call to advocacy and legal appeal. Acts 16 has 40 verses, and Paul calls the authorities to account before the end. The broken system is to be addressed. This is not a dismissal of that, but an admission that there is motivation for motion apart from the law or statutes of men. There is the law of love that calls us to transcend again and again and again. First, those stricken by violence, they are loved by God. Christ died for them. They are worthy of love and honor. Start here.